Namaste students, welcome to your social science class. Today we will be moving on to the political science chapter 2, the union government. The main learning objectives of this chapter is the Union Legislature, Rajya Sabha, Lokasaba, what are the powers and functions of the Parliament, Union Executive, President and Prime Minister. So now let us start the lesson. We have learned in the last chapter that India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic. England and France have a unitary system of government. Like the United States of America, India has a federal system of government. So what do we mean by this federal state or system of government? That means there is a union government at the center, that is in Delhi we are having the union government and state governments in the state. India is a union of states. The power of the nation of our country is divided between the center and the state children. The central government has been given more powers because of the unity and security of the nation during the emergencies. It exercises these power through legislature, executive and judiciary. Now let us move on to the Union Legislature. When we move on to the Union Legislature, it compromises the President and the two houses of the Parliament. The House of the People, we call that as the Lokasaba, and the Council of States, the Rajya Sabha. In a democracy, people are their own masters. Ours is a representative democracy where people exercise the sovereign power through their elected representatives. The Parliament is the body of people's representatives who have supreme power of governance in a democratic country. The Constitution of India has provided for a federal system of government. Though the term federation has nowhere been used in the Constitution. In a federal system of government, all the administrative powers are divided between the central and the state governments by the Constitution, and both are supreme within their respective spheres. The state governments are not the agents of the central government, nor do they draw their authority from it. On the other hand, both the central and the state governments draw their authority from the same constitution. India has opted for a federal system of government though with a strong unitary bias. When I tell federal, we are having a federal, I told federal system. So, what is the importance of this federal setup? We had to know about it. The India is a large country, isn't it, children? How many states do we have? Yeah, we are having 29 states. How many union territories do we have? 7 union territories, right? It is not possible in the Indian federal system for the states to break away as a separate unit from the Union of India. This is essential for maintaining the unity and integrity of India. Secondly, a federal system is the only system suitable to the country like India, consisting where we are having different types of people. This is of utmost importance if India is to be saved from the separatists' forces fighting for fragmentation and provincialism of the country. Thirdly, there is a division of legislature and the administrative powers between the union and the state governments, and none of them could violate the limitations which is imposed by the constitution. The Supreme Court children stands at the head of the judiciary to safeguard this distribution of powers and to prevent any action which violates the limitations imposed by the Constitution. The states have been given the right to participate in the functioning of the government. India has a bicameral legislature, that is, Lokasaba and the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha mainly comprises representatives of the states. No system of federation can be successful unless both the union and the states have the adequate financial resources to enable them to discharge their duties. The Constitution of India has made provisions for the distribution of revenues between the center and the state. This distribution has ensured equitable distribution of the financial resources between the two states. When we move on to the non-federal or the unitary features, the Constitution of India has a certain non-federal or unitary features which has led to the crisis to say that it is not merely a federal in form but a unitary in spirit. So some of the unitary features of our Constitution are: it has a strong center. First one, strong center. The Constitution of India provides for a strong center, a feature of unitary government. In the division of powers, 97 items are included in the union list, while the state list consists only of 67 items. Further, even on the subjects contained in the concurrent list, 47 of them, both the center and the states have power to legislate, but the central government enjoys the overriding position, children. Secondly, a single constitution for union and states. The state in India has been given any right to make their own constitution. The framers of the constitution have provided for a single common and unified constitution, both for center and the states, except for the state of Jammu and Kashmir, which has its own constitution, Article 370. But now Jammu and Kashmir also comes under the Indian country, Indian territory. Next, thirdly, the flexibility of the Constitution. The Constitution of India is rather flexible. In other federations, amendments to the constitutions can be made only with the consent and approval of the units. In India, the Parliament can amend most of the provisions of the Constitution single-handedly, either by a simple majority or by a two-thirds majority. Fourthly, single citizenship. The Indian Constitution provides for single citizenship of India, which is common to all the people of various states and union territories. Fifthly, inequality of representation in the Rajya Sabha. Our Constitution does not accord equal representation to all the states. It accords representation to the various states in the Rajya Sabha on the basis of their population. This means that the state with larger population send more representatives in comparison to the states with smaller population. The Rajya Sabha has also 12 members nominated by the President From among us the person who has specialized in the field of art, literature, science and social services. This is a clear departure from the federal principle. Lastly, the existence of union territories. Another feature which is a clear pointer to the unitary character of the Indian Constitution is the existence of the administrative units known as union territories. These unions are directly governed by the central government and do not enjoy any independent powers or autonomy. Children, as we all know, Telangana became the 29th state of the India on June 2nd, 2014. It comprises of 10 northwestern districts of the former state of Andhra Pradesh. The city of Hyderabad will continue to serve as the joint capital for both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana for a period of 10 years. Telangana is bordered by the states of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. Telangana has an area of 11,04,840 square kilometers and a population of 35 crores 286,757 population according to the 2011 census. The major cities of Telangana are Hyderabad, Warangal, Karimnagar and Nizamabad. So this is a little description about the Telangana. The next is we will move on to the Indian Parliament, that is we are having two houses. One is the Lokasaba and another one is the Rajya Sabha. Now we will move on to the Lokasaba. Let us see the difference. Lokasaba, it is the house of the people, whereas Rajya Sabha, it is the council of states. Lokasaba is a lower house, Rajya Sabha is a upper house. This is just a description I am giving. We will move in detail with this, children. We will move in detail with this in the further class. Lokasaba is the mother of Indian executive and it has the member of 552, 530 plus 20 plus 2. At present we are having 543. At members in the Rajya Sabha is 250, 238 plus 12, at present 250. The tenure of the Lokasaba is 5 years and Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. Here a permanent house not dissolved by the president. Dissolved at any time by the president and the tenure is 5 years. Here the tenure is for 6 years and 1/3 of the member retires every 2 years. There is a reservation for SC, ST, Anglo-Indian community. Here there is no reservation for SC, ST or Anglo-Indian community. No reservation for OBC and women and it is a direct election. No equal representation to the state and is indirect election. Now let us move on to the Rajya Sabha. The upper house of the Council of States is known as Rajya Sabha. It represents the Federation of States of the Indian Union. The composition, when we move, the maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha can be 250 members, but actually it is 240 members. The members fall into two categories, nominated and elected. When I tell nominated members, they are nominated by the president from among the persons having special knowledge or practical experience in the matters like literature, science, art and social services. The nominated members are 12 in number. The principle of nomination is aimed at having distinguished persons in the upper chamber. In the past, many eminent persons have been nominated by the President of the Rajya Sabha. like Raja Ramanna, who was a nuclear scientist, Mrinal Sen, who was a film producer, Hema Malini, actress, Katar Singh Jagal, who was a writer, and Nirmala Deshpande, who was a social worker. Like this, there are many persons from different members. So how these members are elected? Then we are having the nominated members and elected members. When we move on to the elected members, there are 238 members are elected by the state in the union. The allocation of seats among the states is not equal, as this could be undemocratic. Seats are allocated to the states and the union territories on the basis of their population. The Uttar Pradesh is represented in the Rajya Sabha by 31 members. Punjab sends only 7 members, and Goa, Manipur, Meghalaya and Mizoram 1 each, depending upon the population. Children, this is. The union territories send only 4 members, that is Delhi 3 and Pondicherry 1. We can see here the strength, the present what we had the election. So 8 out of 12 nominated by the MPs join the BJP, while 4 MPs remain in nominated category. 3 of remaining 4 nominated by the MPs may go to the NDA, while 1 may go up to the UPA during voting. So 3 are included in the list of NDA in the list of UPA. Now we will move on to the elections. When I move on to the elections, the representatives of each state, how they are elected. The representatives of each state in the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly of each state in accordance with the system of proportional representation by the means of single transferable vote. The representatives of the union territories are chosen in such a manner as Parliament may prescribe. The 3 representatives from Delhi and are elected by the members of the Legislative Assembly. The Rajya Sabha at present consists of 245 members, of whom 12 are nominated by the President. The term the Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. It cannot be dissolved like the Lokasaba. Each member of the Rajya Sabha is elected for a period of 6 years. 1/3 of the total members of the house retire after every 2 years. Members can be re-elected if they so desire, if their electors support them. So, if we want to become the member of the Rajya Sabha, then what might be the qualifications? So, the qualifications and disqualifications for membership of the Rajya Sabha are the same as those of the membership of the Lokasabha, except the age of criteria. The minimum age for contesting the election for the Rajya Sabha is 30 years. The qualifications of the membership of Rajya Sabha are: he should be the citizen of India, he should be at least 30 years of age, he should have his name in the electoral rolls in some part of the country, he should not be an insolvent. Insolvent means he should not be in debt and should not have the ability to meet his financial commitments. He should not hold any offices of profit under the government. He should not be proclaimed criminal. He should not be of unsound mind. So then we are having one more thing, the disqualification of membership. Some conditions, the disqualification of the membership. A person shall be disqualified for being chosen as and for being for the member either the House of the Parliament. If he holds any office of profit under the government of India or the government of state other than the officers exempted from the Parliament by law, but not a minister for the union or state. if he is of unsound mind and stands as so declared by the competent court, if he is an undischarged insolvent, if he is not a citizen of India or has voluntarily acquired citizenship of a foreign state or is under an acknowledgement of allegiance or adherence to a foreign power. If he is so disqualified by or under any law by the Parliament. If any question arises as to whether a member of either house of the Parliament has become subject to any of the above disqualification, the President's decision in accordance with the opinion of the Election Commission shall be final. A penalty of rupees 500 per day may be imposed upon a person who sits or votes in either the House of the Parliament, knowing that he is not a qualified or that he is disqualified for the membership thereof. Now we will move on to the presiding officers. Who will be the officers there? The Vice President of India is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. He presides over its meeting and he cannot vote on any issues discussed in the House as is not the member. However, in case of a tie, he exercises his casting vote. The Rajya Sabha, he elects a deputy chairman from among its members. In the absence of the chairman, he performs all the functions and duties of the chairman. Now we will move on to the Lokasaba Speaker. The member elect from among them. How is he elected? The Speaker has to be impartially conduct the proceedings of the House. He should maintain the dignity and the decorum of the House. The Speaker, he is the Speaker, Venkaiah Naidu. The Speaker gives his ruling whenever there are questions about validity of the proceedings. According to the protocol, all including the Prime Minister are expected to respect the Speaker of the House. When bills are equal number of votes for and against them, the Speaker casts the deciding vote. The Deputy Speaker conducts the proceedings in the absence of the Speaker. Now you have to find out who is the Deputy Speaker. I have given the picture, you have to tell the name. This is an assignment for you. Apart from this, we are also having the opposition leader. What is the role and the work of the opposition leader? To highlight the wrongdoing of the ruling government, examine the policies of the government thoroughly, keep the government council of ministers and officials alert, has a respectable position in the legislature. Now we will move on. In the next class, we will move on to what are the powers, and we will study about the Lokasaba. The same thing. In the Lokasaba, what is the composition of it? What is the term? How the members are elected? What are the qualifications of the members of the Lokasaba? We will continue it in the next class. Thank you, children.